All right, so Tracy, what are your New Year's resolutions for 2017?
You told me I would have the entire podcast to come up with this.
No,
You,
I told you what are you looking forward to in 2017? You had the entire podcast.
dang it. Dang
You
it.
said you were
Okay.
ready for if you're not now take a minute to think, I'll talk then.
Okay, you start.
All right, so this year I have come to realize, in part because I am fat, I really need to reduce my sugar intake. I'm overweight and I have quite the sweet tooth and I'm afraid of needles, so diabetes would be a bad thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're just gonna wind up like my friend Bill. Every 2 weeks on Facebook, he's like, "I'm going to the hospital. Here's the number to the room I'll be in."
No, I'm not going to be like Bill.
Poor guy.
A lot of things would have to happen for me to be anywhere near as unhealthy as poor Bill.
Dude, you better start working on it right now.
Why do you think I'm reducing the sugar intake?
Restart.
So I got that. Second thing, kind of a continuation from last year, is to continue organizing the house. I got off to a good start at the beginning of the year. We did pretty well after the wedding, kind of getting rid of stuff, purging old stuff for new stuff. And then we had to clear out Becky's house because we were renting it and had to get the last of her stuff, and we're just now finally like getting through that stuff. So
Every now and then you see a hand rising above the rubble and waving.
right. Now, actually, this last week we've made quite a bit of progress.
Spider has disappeared. So has Boston. We don't know where they are. Bark. Somebody bark so we can find you.
Yeah. And then the last one I've got is to read and watch more anime and manga. I've got a fair amount, not like a ton, but I've got like, maybe a half dozen books and like 6 or 7 different series that I've been meaning to watch and just never have. So I kind of want to just knock those out this year.
Yuri on Ice. That's all you
What?
need. That's all you need. Yuri on Ice. That's the anime Donnell was watching for like nonstop the last 2 weeks.
I was like,
Yuri on Ice.
I was like, is that one of Jess's yaoi?
Close.
Right.
Yaoi actually, I think, has to have sex in it. This one's like yaoi without the sex,
I mean,
but it's super gay. Super, super gay. Don't let that confuse you. Super gay.
no, I've got things that are less so, like Gundam and
Yeah.
Samurai 7, and
You ever see Samurai Champloo?
I have not.
Same guy who did Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, nice.
Very, very cool.
I've actually I also have all of Afro Samurai.
Yeah, it was a show and a movie, right?
Yep.
It was like 6, 7 episodes of a show and then one movie.
Yeah, and I've got Afro Samurai and Samurai 7, which is the anime version of Seven Samurai.
Mm-hmm.
That took me actually a while to reclaim from Kyle. Like he borrowed that one time when he was going out on the ship, and then I think about 2 years later we realized that he had my copy of it still. Are you ready, Tracy?
Okay, I'm ready. Fine. So much like you, I have a problem with size. And mine is not, well, I do love cheeseburgers, but it's not so much that.
Just
It's
like
that
she started with, I got a problem with size. Isolate that one for our new introduction. I have a problem with size.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, it's this, I'm going to leave that one all else. All right. But I hate sweating. You guys don't even understand how little I like to, I hate it. So I hate exercise, right? So I just signed up for yoga classes. So we'll see where that
Hot
goes.
yoga.
It is hot yoga, actually. They don't call it that anymore. They call it something else. And the woman goes, have you ever heard of this word? And I'm like, no. She goes, well, it's where the room is warm. And I'm like, so hot yoga? Like, we've been calling it that for decades. Why are we changing it? Anyway, the other thing is that over the last year, I've done a million things. My life has been, while it was a great year, it was a lot of moving around. It was a lot of change. There was a lot of new stuff that happened. And so my personal life and trying to get that back in order sort of took over. I'd like to get back into the real world a little bit. I haven't followed any news stories. I sit down with my friends who are still in research and they talk about these topics. And I am absolutely not up to date on so many international relations topics that bothers me. So I'd like to get back into research. I have a subscription to Foreign Affairs, so I'm going to be doing a lot more reading on that front. And I'd also like to cut back on Netflix and start getting outside a little bit more. I think Netflix is the reason I didn't read. I did read a lot more this coming year, which I believe was one of my resolutions. It's pretty much one of my resolutions every year is to read more. I think I read about 35 books this year, but I think I sit down, like I just watched 3 seasons of Penny Dreadful right in a row. I think it took me a week. I got through them. So that's probably a little more binging on visual media than I want to do in the future. So hopefully I'll cut back on that a little.
I can imagine Tracy trying to lose weight, and because she doesn't like to sweat, all that happens is her boobs reduce in size, and that's
God
it.
damn it, that's what always fucking happens.
It's just
so
her,
annoying.
It's just her boobs just shrink down.
Yeah, and I'm
She's like, it's like, I lost 30 pounds. I don't look any different, but my boobs are a lot smaller.
Yeah, I've also thought about taking up swimming because I feel like you sweat, but like there's water, so you don't really notice. So we'll think about that one too. But I'm not trying to take on too much this year.
Don't think about that one too hard though.
I don't know how Tracy just reads 35 books. I don't even know how you remember that you read them, much less you remember what's in them. I have to take notes as I'm reading so I know what the hell happened in them.
But that's the difference between how you guys watch movies. Like, you guys watch movies and you have every detail, and you're quoting and shit, and I'm like, I have to watch this movie 3 times before I fully take in you're seeing stuff in the background, and I'm like, I'm just following, the plot of the movie and seeing how I feel, but give me a book and I've got ridiculous detail. I don't know, it's weird.
Do you remember when we tried to test Kyle's memory? Because Kyle reads at an offensive speed. It really is. He can crank through a 400-page book in 5 to 6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
The Kindle is one of the best inventions for that man, because he used to bring 30 books with him on the ship, and he'd be done in a month and have nothing else to read for 3 months.
Right.
Yeah. I
don't know how you do it.
I remember you and I were like, all right, let's see how much he actually recalls from reading that fast. And there was a book all 3 of us had read, and you and I just are kind of quietly poking questions at him, and he just doesn't miss a one. We were like, God damn it.
No,
you fucker.
I'm more jealous of people who can read well, because I try and practice at it and I still suck.
Right.
I have notes. I have thick notes on the books that I do read. I have Post-its stuck in them on every chapter so I can remember what the hell happened to them. Because if I read the little keyword, I'm like, oh yeah, here's what happened, and I can go through the whole litany of things. But if you put that's why I failed almost every English class in high school. It's remember when this happened? No. You read the book, didn't? Yes. You should remember, but I don't. I remember a teacher tested me. She's like, "Here, you need to read a couple pages before you leave class today." And I'm like, "All right." And I read them, and she's like, "All right, what happened?" She gives me a question I don't remember. It's you just read it. I know. I don't remember that part. It's where is it in the book? She points it out. I'm like, I guess I'm not leaving today.
One of those things where you have to write it 150 times on the board.
Yep.
What are your resolutions, dude? Do you have any? Do you ever make the resolutions? You
Not
seem
really.
like the guy that is no resolutions ever.
Not really. I don't put that much thought into it. I did want to work out a lot more this year, and I did. I kind of held that over from last year. Kept healthy. I will say, the last 3 months, I was I'm tired of working out, and I just kind of stopped. And I picked it back up because I like weightlifting and I like doing it at home. So that's been a lot of fun. That's what I tell people. You want to work out, I think weightlifting is the way to go. I think it's a lot of fun. Some people find it really boring and like to do cardio. I don't like cardio because I don't like breathing heavy. It's just when I do cardio, you feel you're so drained and you feel lame because you can't do anything. When you lift weights, you're I'm lifting heavy shit. I can do this, right? And you could feel the progress, right? You could feel it and you could see it more. I want to get back into that. Just get my discipline back with working out.
You know what you need to do? Go watch Batman versus Superman again.
Yeah.
And just watch Ben Affleck's lats.
That was a highlight of this year, was Ben Affleck's lats. Ugh, I don't even like Ben Affleck, but that dude, he could flap. He'd get some hair. His shoulders back and forth.
Human glider.
Yeah, he was ridiculous. Oh, where was it? Where was I going with that next? Yeah, so working out's been good. I had a magic show for an entire year at a regular venue. I mean,
oh, that's cool.
So that was every week on Thursday I did a show at this regular venue. We took a break at the end of the year. We're coming back January 5th. So that felt really good. I got kicked off a radio show. I got kicked off a college radio show this year. That was really fun.
Why did you get kicked off though? I feel like I need
he's
to know
himself.
Yeah, it's just because it's me. That was really So my partner in the show, Baruch, thought I have interesting ideas that he wanted to put on his college radio show, and he was like, "Come on the radio show." So the first radio show I did was kind of the same time you brought. Oh yeah, I started a podcast. I was a guest. I started I was on a podcast this year. That was kind of interesting. And he brought me on. He's like, "You got some interesting to say." So he brought me on to do the women in gaming thing on his show. And I guess the other dude was this like, he looked my age. So at first I thought he was my age. He turned out to be 22. So it's like when you're 22 and you look 30, you're already starting to bald. I guess you're already in a bad mood. And he just did not like me, like at all. So I did two shows with him. We did a show on the Oscars. Oh, maybe this was 2015. I can't remember now. It was 2016. We did a show on the Oscars, and he just hated my guts. And he banned me from the studio through this other co-host. He banned me from the studio. Then he was like, "You can call in, but you can't come up to the studio." So I called in because they were doing a free speech episode, and then he was mad that I called in, so I wasn't allowed to call in. Then I was allowed to call in again. Then I was allowed back in the studio. Then I was banned from the show entirely.
Nice.
That is quite a roller coaster.
Yeah, he did.
Nice way to start off the year, though.
Oh yeah, that guy did not like me. So that's kind of it on a personal level. I wish I could read like Tracy. I read a couple books this year. Yeah, a couple on Spartacus, a couple on Napoleon, a bunch of comics, reread Akira, all that kind of good stuff. Reread, and then the last of the year was kind of absorbed into Orwell. Although I did get through a couple other non-Orwell books now that I think about it. But that was about it.
Nice.
Yeah, 2016 was split for you between Napoleon and Orwell, which is actually kind of an odd dichotomy.
Oh no, it's super weird, but it's perfect with what the hell I do. Is like they don't make any sense. They're not connected, but I find some way of like linking the two. We had neighbors come over, and I was like showing them the library, and I was like, "Yeah, so this is the nonfiction. This is history." And she looks at it and she goes, "There is a lot of war here." There's a lot of war. Like, yeah.
And a few Conan.
And some Conan. There's Conan over here. That's right. I got really into Conan this year.
Mm-hmm.